I haven't thought about this in a while. I didn't plan on doing this at all. Fucking mad, dude. God. I hate the racial shit in this country. It's so stupid. It's so fucking stupid. I saw an article. I sent it to you, Andrea. It's the conservative fucking, what is it? The Conservative Tribune posting a fucking article about the Black Panthers, the new Black Panther Party, doing armed open carry marches in Dallas. And their stated purpose is to educate black communities about their fucking gun rights and their federal, local, county rights as an armed individual. And the fucking Conservative Tribune comes out and demonizes it. Why? This country sucks. What? You love open carries. The right wing loves open carries. What does it matter if they're black, you fucking pieces of shit?
Yeah, they describe them as a gang. Armed gang.
An armed gang.
Black Panthers.
You fucking hypocrite cocksuckers. Fuck. God damn it.
Yeah, and what can possibly be gained from undermining their own beliefs in that way? You know?
Yeah, you run the risk of being seen as a flip-flopper and a racist when it's so obvious. You know, it's so easy to point out the contradiction.
When you join in with the Republican or Democratic Party, you don't run the risk of being a flip-flopper. You guarantee it. You guarantee that you will not have philosophical consistency in the way that you feel about issues. Guarantee it. That's exactly what it is. You can't join in like a fucking camp like that and then expect to be able to logically process as a free-thinking, real human being and have differing opinions. No, you have to agree with everything your party does, so you guarantee that you'll fucking flip-flop.
All of your opinions and philosophies come to you every day in the form of a memo or something like that.
When I read that, I almost threw my fucking phone into the sky and just pissed puke out of my fucking eyes and ripped my chest open. I'm just like, I'm so sick of this shit. This country
I want to point out,
sucks. This fucking country sucks. It's so stupid. Sorry, what are you saying?
You sent me this story 3 times.
Yeah,
you were so mad you sent it to me 3 times.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, I know.
Because I'm like, why would you not, as a free-thinking American who supports the Second Amendment like we do, why would you not be so happy like I was to see now here's people going into black communities and uniting on this cause and saying, you know what, it's not about fucking tucking a gun in your fucking sweatpants and acting like a gangbanger. Here's your fucking rights and here's why. Why would you be against that? Why?
Yeah, Darren X.
What?
National Field Marshal for the new Black Panther Party.
Oh, okay.
Had this to say about it. The complete agenda involves going into our communities and educating our people on federal, state, and local gun laws. We want to stop fratricide, genocide, all the sides.
There you go. How about democide?
Pesticide.
They want to stop the pesticides.
Fuck, dude.
And then
and I know because I've seen enough Conservative Tribune articles, I know that they represent the main fucking mainstream view of the right. That's what pisses me off so much. And they're writing that article like, oh, they're just out here to educate. Right. And it's like all this sarcastic shit. Like, do you have any idea? That article gets written by the left about you fucks every day. Oh, dude. And then you do the same thing for purely racial reasons. You don't want to be called racist as a right-winger? Well, fuck you. You clearly are, if that's how you feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen anything. No, that's not true. But this is an incredible display of racism.
It really is. You're right. It's just an incredible display of racism. That's what it is. And that really fucking pisses me off. And not because we defend free speech. And we're all down for fucking. We've made so many racially insensitive jokes on this show that a lot of people probably hate us and all that.
Sorry, non-Zionist Jews.
Like
My bad.
actual fucking interpretations of logic that racism influences. Now that's fucked up. That's not a joke. That's not an issue of free speech. You're a fucking piece of shit. Conservative Tribune. Jesus Christ.
And they actually called them a gang?
Yeah, the headline says armed gang of Black Panthers.
And then...
No, and I realize...
Terrorizing local towns.
Hold on. And now I know... Listen.
No, they don't say terrorizing.
This is another one where you got to walk the line because the new Black Panther Party has been involved in their more than their share of shady stuff, right? It's totally... Right. It's not like you can just go, everything they do is great and they're totally noble and whatever. But you know what?
What a wholesome group.
You know what? This is a chapter in Dallas that's trying to do their thing, and they're not, on the national level, and they're not engaging in influencing candidates and threats and all the kind of weird things that have been involved in this movement in the past. They're not doing that shit. They're out there with they're going. There was no evidence in this article that they were doing anything other than what their stated purpose was.
Right.
No evidence at all. They just go, yeah, right. This is a fucking small group. You know what I mean? It's a small chapter of a national movement. And if it came the other way and somebody said, hey, this fucking crazy gun nut shot up this mall, you'd be like, well, hey, no, man, that doesn't represent us. That's not part of our group. Well, then fuck you. Fuck you. They get the same, same. There's no word for what I want to say.
Come on.
Yeah.
It's all the same.
It's all the same. You know what I'm saying? If you're not represented by one person who agrees with your general viewpoint, then neither are they. All right. So that's what I got to say about that. I know we got a lot of shit to get through.
Let me ask you something
What?
though. If someone came into your neighborhood, if someone came knocking on your door with a gun on their back, and they came knocking on your door to talk to you about gun laws and what your rights are and stuff like that, they knock on the door, you look out the window, you see a person with a giant gun on their back.
Who said they were knocking on doors?
Well, no, I'm saying hypothetically, if this is because I'm thinking about how one of these people would reach me.
Banging on doors.
I heard they were kicking doors in. I'm sorry, Andrea.
My question is, you look out the window. Does it matter to you if that person is white or black? Is that situation scarier if there's a gunned person who is black knocking on your door?
I think it's better. If I see a white dude with a gun outside my door, I assume it's a police officer.
Yeah, me too. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, and here's the thing. It's like this is where social cues and conditioning comes in, because if it's a white guy or a black guy, both ways it depends on way more on their body language and maybe how they look, how healthy they are. Do they look like a drug addict or some shit, or what? You know what I mean? It's like I could picture a black guy who I'd feel comfortable with and a white guy I'd feel comfortable with. It's like, I don't know.
But if someone with a gun slinged around their back knocking on your door, that person doesn't want to hurt you. If they want to hurt you, they're already inside your place with the gun in your face.
Or they're not going to have a gun slung around their shoulder. They're going to have a concealable weapon.
Right.
Yeah.
So
now, Texas, where this is going on.
No, go ahead.
Only for a very specific group of people, ex-police, military, things like that, can obtain a concealed carry.
That's terrible.
But any normal people can get an open carry license, but it has to be open. People have to be able to see if you have a gun on you.
And I understand the logic behind that.
Yeah, me too.
Wouldn't you want it to be open?
Yeah. I
so
think,
if this was a group of people who were wandering around talking about gun rights, and then it was revealed that they were all armed afterwards, would that be better or worse? What's scarier?
For who?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
For the unarmed
So it's just the sight of the gun that is causing the controversy.
Right.
And nothing about their intent or anything.
Yeah.
And that's always the same thing when a bunch of country guys go out and open carry and the cops come up and they talk Constitution and this and that. And I always support that shit. Always. And I'll support the Black Panthers doing open carry in Dallas to educate their community. Of course I will. What the fuck, dude? Why would you not?
It's great. I wish someone would come here and say, here's a pamphlet. Here are all the things you're allowed to do with your gun, and here's where you go get one.
Here's my gun.
That would be wonderful.
And we also always acknowledge the fact that, no, it's not so comfortable to see a guy walk down your street with an AR-15, and that's not necessarily to be left out of this conversation, because there's something to be, like, and then we always talk about, it always goes here. Hey, on any street you live on in a lot of this country, 75, 80 years ago, you wouldn't fucking blink an eye to see somebody walk down the street with their gun.
Yeah.
Ever. You wouldn't care at all because they were just all over. So is that the answer? Is that people are more commonly armed and we get over it and we realize, hey, 99% of us are not murderers. And all of a sudden now we're in this situation where because 99% of us are not murderers, and good people, and we're armed, that when there is a crazy murderer, he gets fucking taken out pretty quick.
Yeah.
So
look at all these guns without any murders.
Yeah, and I think that's
why aren't these guns murdering people?
I mean, and please, this country was a perfect example of polite society and armed society for a long time. It really was. And go back far enough in your neighborhood. A 14-year-old walking down the street with a 22 wouldn't have looked weird to you. You know what I mean? It really wouldn't have in most of this parts of this country,
I think the goal should just be desensitizing.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I always lean towards that too. Yeah. Because the evidence is there that it did work. And there wasn't just rampant murder all over the place. We've seen this stuff increase through modern times drastically, Do
you think the culture of guns being a bad thing is something that was like manufactured to disarm people?
Yes,
to make
of course
unpopular?
I do. Of course, yeah.
And to make it scarier, because if all you hear about guns is how they're killing people, and you never see the guns that aren't killing people, you're going to assume anyone with a gun is going to kill somebody.
Well, the hidden elite that control this country, there's a few things that are not in their best interests. An armed populace, and especially an intelligent armed populace that understands why they're armed, that's not in their best interests. A healthy, engaged, active populace is not in their best interest, and a well-informed, intelligent, and educated populace is not in their best interest. And we see the top-down influence of trying to fucking, negatively influence all of those things all around us.
Constantly, and from every single angle.
Yes.
Anything they can do is done.